Hello, my name is Matthew Hookenkamp. I am a second-year student at RIT studying electrical engineering. I noticed there was a bit of a gap in knowledge about grades and people's academic performance, especially in the first year. I experienced some of this myself, and due to this, I would like to share with you a Google Sheet I made that calculates your grade for you, given that you give it information. So right here, we have our GPA key, an AS4, so on and so forth. Then we also have the course-specific information. So for here, an A is a 95. You can change it by, let's say for an A minus, I can change it to a 91, and then you'll see that grade change to a B plus. We also have categories and class name. So each category, let's say this is homework, and this here could be projects. And then the weight for that could be, I chose 10%. So if I wrote it like this, it should be about the same. Yep. I wrote it in decimal form though. And here you have your GPA for the class, you have your credit count. So if you're taking a 4 credit, you change that. It'll change you would have to change your credits here, and you would have to change this formula here, which adds up the products of the averages here, which just takes the average of the whole column and your weights. We also have, for a feature, this right here, which is going to be your grades per week. You have to manually enter this information, but you would update each of these for all the classes you have. And you would type in, let's say for week 1, you started with a 100. I'm using random values, which is why it all jumped. But then for week 2, you could put, let's say, 20. Maybe you got a 20. And then maybe you got, let's say, an 80. You can change all of this. And you also can plot this information. So you can see over time if your grades are more or less volatile, depending on certain changes. The final feature of this I want to talk about is this global goals tracker. I'm sorry for the dog barking. Couldn't find a quiet place to do this because everyone likes to come into the house exactly when I want to do this or do donations or that sort of thing. So, not that I dislike charity, I love charity. So here we have our semester by semester basis, and we have our grade for each final grades for each class. It's a little bit redundant, and our class name. These are all placeholders. Then we have the credits taken, the semester GPA, which can be pulled from your previous sheets, cumulative GPA, if full-time status is true, MSBS minimum GPA is true, and if the honors minimum GPA is true. If these are false, then you're not a full-time student, you don't qualify for MSBS, you're not qualifying for honors. You can also use this information if you know how to use graphs to chart how well you're doing with your semester by semester GPA, and if it's climbing or decreasing. Now, for general usage, I'm going to go to actually one of my outdated slides. So this one's actually in date. This one's out of date. There are some hotkeys you can use to navigate these slides to change things. If you want to, let's say, remove a category, you can do a control space, 1 time select the given range, do it 2 times, and you select the whole vertical column. You can delete, you can go here, clear all the boundaries, and go here, white everything out. And then you would do control space, space again, and then you'd do shift right arrow a few times, control X for cut, control V Did that a bit wrong. Control V for paste. And besides that, there are a few things we need to talk about here, where if you actually remove a category, you will have to change the formula from some product, ending at P to ending at maybe O, if you go to the O column, or N, or H if you only have 2 grade categories for whatever reason. And you can press escape to, not change anything. And then you have your true final grade, which is just whatever you actually get at the end of the semester. So you might end up actually getting an A+ when you think you would have only gotten an A- through your calculations. Besides this, there's nothing really more to use this calculator for. You can easily, very easily, use the color code here. So we have dummy values currently in here. You can have predicted values, so if you think you're going to get an 80 on an exam, you can see what your grade will be. It's normally better to lowball in my experience. And you can also have hard to change or easy to change grades if you want. Again, color code is all manual. And so it's the GPA scale, the honors, you would set to true, and so on and so forth. So that's it for my grade sheet. You can find more information below. And I hope you have a lovely day. Good luck with your academic pursuits. I'll need good luck with my dog.